Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Villars-sous-Écot for the final round of the FIA Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of Pays de Montbéliard. We are close to the Swiss border, over in the east of the country. It's still a little bit chilly outside, although I am pleased to say that it's dry. Not had rain since the MX2 race earlier on today, and conditions are improving out here. But during the break, the organisers have done their best to get some of the parts on the racetrack tidied up, and I'm sure we'll see those parts of the racetrack. Well, you see parts from there, look, but 1,550 metres of torture it was for the first race of the day. But here's what happened in MX2 race 1 a little earlier. It was a 10th Vauxhall shot of the year for Paul's Jonas over from the right-hand side. He ran it down the inside of Thomas Covington. Covington, though, rode a smart line at the end of the straight. He forced Jonas into moving from one side of the track to the other. He ran into Jed Beaton, and the championship leader was down at turn 2. Seawer came out of turn 2 in 3rd place and was quickly into 2nd. Jed Beaton was in 3rd. Bogus was 4th, but not for long. The HSF KTM rider fell, handing the advantage to Thomas Kjær-Olsen. Seawer found his way past Beaton briefly. Beaton was taking no prisoners, charged down the inside of the championship contender, got himself back into 2nd, but ran wide at the bottom of the hill. Seawer returned the payment. Jorge Prado was having a mare. He eventually came home in 14th place on a circuit that was getting worse with every single lap. Jonas, though, found his way past Brian Bogus to get himself up into 7th. Thomas Kjær-Olsen, though, fell from 3rd. And then shortly after that, from 4th at the bottom of one of the long downhills. His teammate, Thomas Covington, continued to lead, but then he fell with a couple of laps to go. But fortunately for him, he had a 44-second advantage at that point of the race. Jeremy Seawer also made 1 or 2 problems, but maintained his 2nd position. Fantastic ride, though, for Jed Beaton, coming home in 3rd, the Australian on the HRC MX2 Honda. Thomas Covington, though, for the 5th time this year, crossed the Monster Energy finish line as a race winner in MX2. Seawer, Beaton, Hunter Lawrence and Jonas rounded out the top 5. And for Paul's Jonas, that 5th place meant he is world champion in MX2 in 2017. So congratulations to Paul's Jonas and everybody at Red Bull KTM. They've now done the double. Next on Crufts, we will go down to the pit lane and speak to Lisa Leyland. She caught up with Darren Sinai, Monster Energy DRT, Kawasaki, but before that, the guy who just got pipped to 2nd in the championship, Jeremy Seawer, for Suzuki World MX2. Here's what Seawer had to say.
Hello and welcome to the very last MX2 race of the season. Now I want to speak to our Vice World Champion, Jeremy Seawer, and just get his thoughts now on how he's going to approach this race now that the title's been decided. Jeremy, just a quick word. Obviously we saw Paul Jonas get the title in that first moto. What's your approach to this race? Does it almost feel like a weight has been lifted now that that's all happened?
I mean, I accepted that a bit yesterday already, you know. I was quite frustrated and I knew that this is going to happen. And I mean, it's not easy to lose to get 2nd, but now I'm really good, you know. I'm happy I did well in that first moto in the mud, and I'm just focusing on a good GP result now. I knew before the weekend that the title, won't be mine this year, you know. So I'm happy for him. He did a good job, no mistakes all year. So congratulations to him and the KTMs. And now I'm just focusing on my last 250. GP last moto, and the rest, you know, we will see. I'm really happy to step up to the 450s, and I'm looking forward for Wednesday. You know, I go out and ride it already, which is pretty cool.
Cool. Looking forward to see you on it. Thanks, Jeremy Seawer there. Feeling really positive. Actually, it's starting to rain now, so I don't know how that's going to affect the next 2 races. Darren Sinai is the next rider I want to speak to. Bad start in that first moto, had problems with his goggles. He went into the pits. He had to change them, but then he worked his way up to 11th, I think it was. He had quite a good moto. Darian, I was just telling everyone at home that you had quite an eventful first moto, but not bad in the end.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy mud moto. Like right at the beginning, I had a problem with my goggles. I pulled a string and I broke it off, and so I was like, all right, what do I do now? And I took the goggles off completely, rode around with no goggles, and ended up falling. And after that, I was like, I might as well pull into the pit. Then I came in, we changed gloves, changed goggles, just kind of straightened it out. They told me, you know, just pick it up a little bit because I was going so slow, and just pick it up, and you might be able to pass some people. So that's what I did, and I started finding a rhythm every lap, and I ended up catching up to 11th. So that was, yeah, not so bad, and got some points. And I think we're sitting 11th in the championship now. So just got to go out and try to do good this one.
Have a good second race. Yeah, thank you. Good luck. Good luck to all the guys. It's time for the last MX2 race of the season, MX2 Race 2.
The riders make their way to the start line then for MX2 Race 2, led out by Hunter Lawrence on pole for the first time in 2017 for Suzuki World MX2. The new world champion, Paul Jonas, lines up second, ahead of Brian Bogus, Jed Beaton, David Puches, Thomas Covington, Brent Van Donnick, Jeremy Seewer, Julian Lieber, and Stephen Rubini, and the rest, as you can see on screen. But improved weather conditions ahead of MX2 Race 2 for the final race of 2017. The FIM Motocross World Championship, 19th round, the MXGP of Pays de Montbéliard, here at Villars-sous-Écot. Race 2 is up next.
Allez, mise en place l'ensemble de ces pilotes. Alors, est-ce qu'on a rempli plutôt l'extérieur de la... L'extérieur, majoritairement, il y a quand même le Russell, par exemple, qui est à l'intérieur au côté de...
Paul Jonas swaps the number 41 for the number 1 for the final race of the year, just like Antonio Cairoli did 1 week ago when he clinched the MXGP title at Assen in the Netherlands for the 9th time. Jeremy Seewer, no pressure on his shoulders anymore. He was second in race 1 behind Thomas Covington on the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, and he will be looking to try and get on the top step of the podium here if he can. Jeremy Seewer so far this season has 5 Grand Prix victories. Jonas has 6. Jorge Prado has 3. Thomas Covington has 1. There is the number 64. What can he do in Moto number 2? A winner in race 1, of course. Can he wrap up the season with a win here at Villars-sous-Écot? That's Julian Lieber. Everyone will be feeling slightly more confident than they were in race 1, knowing that conditions are a little bit better. It looks like it's going to be a dry race in terms of no rain. Jed Beaton, who we just saw there in the grey Fox kit on the number 14 HRC 2018 factory HRC machine. He'll be looking to get on the podium as well if he can. He was 3rd in race 1. Hunter Lawrence, though, might have something to say about that. Be a battle between the Australians, possibly. He was 4th in Moto number 1. A nightmare first race for Jorge Prado. He'll just be looking to finish his season on a high if he can. Start of the weekend, 36 points behind Julian Lieber in a battle for 6th place. Lieber strengthening his grip there because he came home in 6th, and Prado came home 14th, which means he's not going to be able to do that this time out. But MX2, race 2, is almost go here. What can Darren Sinai do? He was 11th in race 1. He'll be looking to improve in Moto number 2. Thomas Kjær Olsen, Rockstar Energy Husqvarna factory racing. He fell from 3rd place around the midpoint in MX2 race 1. He'll be looking to improve on his 7th place finish from that first race. The final race of 2017 for the FIM MX2 Motocross World Championship here at Villars-sous-Écot. The MXGP of Pays de Montbéliard. Jed Beaton over there on the far left for HRC MX2, number 14. The starts came from over on the far side in Moto number 1. Beaton makes a great start, and he gets the good line as well through that first turn. Covington, once again, though, number 64. He leads away. He grabbed the foxhole shot there for the 8th time this year. Alvin Osland just paddling his way through at the back. Brad Todd on the iFly JK Racing Yamaha 714, a wild card. Not a great start for Ben Watson either, but it's Covington who leads. Seewer or Hunter Lawrence in 2nd. Bogus there in 3rd place. Oh, the first sticky point of the racetrack. The digger arm not long enough to stretch that far around the turn, it would appear. Everything nice and neat on the way in, but really messing up the riders. But benefiting from that was 61, Jorge Prado. He comes out in third on that Red Bull KTM. Lawrence in fourth place. Fifth for number 14, Jed Beaton on the Honda. Then we have, well, Lawrence is in there. Sorry, Seawer is in there. So too David Fuchs. But who was in there as well? It looked like Jacoby might have been in there. The number 29 on the STC, Husqvarna. Dropping down the bottom end of the circuit for the first time. It's Covington who leads. Bogus second. Hunter Lawrence got himself back into third. Prado fourth. Seawer now in fifth. Finds a move at the top of the hill. Past Jed Beaton. These two were banging bars here at the end of the first lap in race one. And they're almost touching again here on the opening lap of race two. And almost a deja vu situation for both riders there. Beaton winning out this time just like he did. He goes wide just like he did in race one. And again, Seawer down the inside of the Australian. Testing times here. Not sure the riders even went out for a sighting lap in the start of this race. Just like moto number one. Didn't seem like there was a lot of point. So feeling their way, just like they did in moto number one. 29, Jacoby on the right-hand side on the STC Husqvarna. He's in contact there with Julian Lieber. But at the top of the hill, Covington has been passed. Bogus leads. Covington is second. Third, Hunter Lawrence. Jorge Prado is in fourth place. Fifth is Jeremy Seawer. Jed Beaton is in sixth. Julian Lieber 7. Jacoby 8. Puch is 9. Jonas in 10. Of course, the new world champion. Darian Sinai 11. Alvin Osland 12. Calvin Bellandren, Conrad Muse and Thomas Kjær-Olsen ran out the top 15 ahead of Anton Gohl, Magni Klingsheim, Ben Watson, Mika de Waal and Michael Mantovani. Here's Lawrence and Covington back past Brian Bogus. So the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna rider looking to go 1-1 here for the first time in his career. Still a very long way to go though for the American and the rest of the field. 27 minutes plus 2 laps. Bogus over on the right side on that white HSF Logistics Motorsport, getting the distance over the tabletop at the end of that straight. Having to pick a line. Oh, and the two almost come together at the bottom of the hill. Bogus still searching for a way through from second, but Covington just edging out the Dutchman. Starting to dry out. Lap times might start to tumble. Covington almost sampling the dirt there. But Hunter Lawrence, he's already in his stride. He's closing in on the two riders ahead of him. Three-way battle for the lead here, folks. Hunter Lawrence is the guy that is pushing a new pace. 9th in the championship. That's pretty much nailed on. Covington can't afford to relax though. He still has Brian Bogus giving him a serious amount of grief. And it's Bogus who charges through as Covington went for the outside line. He thought there was more support around there, but does he get his nose ahead? He does. Once again into the final turn. Playing perfectly into the hands of Hunter Lawrence there. In third place for Suzuki World MX2. Hunter Lawrence was third in the second moto in Germany. He got a second in race 2 in the USA, along with that third place finish in moto number 1. Has yet to win a moto. Brian Bogus also yet to win a race in MX2. The top 3, 6 seconds clear of everybody else. There's Seawer, he's in 4th place. So both the Suzuki World MX2 riders. Oh, and Bogus goes down. Bogus goes down. Just the other side of that. Oh, no, he's still upright. Or is he? If he didn't, he lost a lot of time. So, yeah, it was a major mistake. Cross-rutted. Probably went from the middle of the track to the outside. All of a sudden, Thomas Covington coming under threat now from Hunter Lawrence. Waved yellows at the bottom of the hill, but past the scene of the crime. Lawrence looking for a way into the lead. We are on lap 2, and Hunter Lawrence gets to the inside of Covington. He might try to make a move at the end of the straight here. Finally, they're getting the distance over the step down. They weren't able to do that in moto number 1. Lawrence goes to the inside. He'll have the commanding line at the bottom of the hill, but he won't need it. He goes to the outside, though. Covington will look to fight back to the inside. He almost gets cross-rutted, almost goes down again. So Lawrence leads then in MX2 on lap 2. The final race of the year. He was 4th in race 1. He is looking to go out of 2017 in some kind of style, if he can, with a race win at the very, very least. Lawrence working his way towards the end of the lap. Covington second, runs it wide. He might just stay ahead of Bogus. It actually looks like Covington just running a little bit too cautious here in moto number 2. Probably knows he's got the overall to think about as well. Bogus hasn't got a care in the world. Urged on by his pit crew down there in HSF Logistics, and look how quickly Jeremy Seewer has closed in here in the last lap or so. He was the fastest rider in the first sector. Wasn't the fastest rider on track that time around, though. That was Hunter Lawrence at 2:05.6. Jed Beaton still in 5th position, but he might just miss out on a podium spot. If the flag were to go out now, he would just be shy of that by a few points as Seewer gets a little bit out of shape. Bogus takes a nervous look over his shoulder, but this is a battle for 3rd place between Bogus and the yellow Suzuki there. Number 91, Jeremy Seewer. Covington just ahead of him from the USA. Whoa. Jeremy Seewer had a moment there, and Bogus charges down the inside of Covington again. This time he makes the plastic and doesn't even look back. So the Dutchman then charging into 2nd position, and Covington just needs to lighten up a little bit, needs to relax here, because he's sitting on top of the Grand Prix podium at the moment, but he is in danger of losing that. Watch this here. Covington tried to get across. Bogus just got in there early. We rehearsed it a lap before. This time it was for real. Seewer had been passed momentarily there by Jed Beaton. Beaton now getting pushed back behind the Suzuki rider. So it was Beaton in 4th a minute ago. Jeremy Seewer made a mistake, and look at him, he's going after Thomas Covington here. Just not feeling it, Covington. Going through the waves. Tell you what, that is skill right there. It's sticky, it's rutty, and they were literally half a bar length apart. Still favouring that outside. Looks like there's some different lines out there now. Covington just seems to be stale. Looks like he's just stuck to 1 or 2 lines that he was using in the first race. It seemed to quite work for him at the moment. Lawrence, 5.5 seconds clear on course, potentially for a first moto win in MX2. Bogus is in 2nd. Seewer now 3rd. 64. Covington is in 4th place. That's going to give the overall Grand Prix victory to Hunter Lawrence on the same points as Covington at the moment. Jed Beaton still in 5th. Great ride for the HRC stand-in this weekend. And the HRC top brass are here this weekend as well. And it was rumoured that the deal that he was looking at was believed to be a red deal before the start of the weekend. That kind of fell through. What team that was for, I have no idea. So if he impresses here, well, it might be back on the cards for him. Charging down the far hill over on the furthest point of the racetrack. Those ruts don't seem to be getting too serious now at the bottom of the hill. Lawrence, 5.5 seconds clear, a fastest lap of the race last time around on the Suzuki World MX2 machine. Bogus here, HSF Logistics Motorsport in white, is in 2nd. Being pushed by the 91, Jeremy Seewer in 3rd. Covington just behind in 4th. He might relax into this race as it goes on. Might just be taking the American a little bit of time for the racetrack to come to him, inverted commas. Jed Beaton right behind in 5th place on that red HRC 2018 CRF 250 factory machine. Honda. Puch is 6. 7 now Jonas. Prado is in 8. Al Osland for Khmer Yamaha is 9. Thomas Kjær Olsen is in 10th place. Calvin Blanderen 11. Sanai is 12. 11th in race 1 for the American. Jacoby 13. We've lost Lever from 14th, I think. And maybe even Nagni Klingshine, so those two may have come together. because Ravini, Gold, Hughes, Watson, Monticelli and Duval all moving up a position. Lawrence still 5.5 seconds clear at the head of the field. Siwa was the fastest man on track that time around with the fastest lap of the race, a 2:02.8. That was a massive gain that time around. So the track is starting to improve in 1 or 2 positions. Siwa is bringing Covington with him. The American not wanting to get left behind. It is very tight on a podium. 3 riders fighting for the top 3 steps, and it will be Siwa if he stays ahead of Brian Bogus. That was a great move there at the end of the straight. Caught the Dutchman napping. Lawrence on 43, Covington 43, Siwa on 42. That move on Bogus puts him 2 points clear, or gives him 2 more points, I should say. Puts him on 44. 1 ahead of Covington and Hunter Lawrence. Oh, slightly offline there, Brian Bogus. Oh, and also for Jeremy Siwa, looked like the handlebar got snatched out of his hands there. Well, I was going to say keep an eye on Covington there. Looked like he ran it down the inside, going after Bogus. Track definitely opening up a little bit here. Siwa launching into the wave section. Race 1, the fastest lap, Jeremy Siwa, 2:14.222. That's already 10 seconds a lap quicker. Now, this time around, 2:01 for Hunter Lawrence, the fastest lap of the race. So all of a sudden, Lawrence goes 2:01, fastest on track, 6.5 seconds clear of his teammate, Siwa. And there is Siwa. Covington looking to go around the outside of Bogus. Gets slightly offline, goes a little bit deep. Bogus protects that 3rd place, covers his line perfectly, going into turn 2 at the end of pit straight. But Covington back on the attack, heading down the next straight. Over the series of rollers and then over that little floater. Oh, this is horrible, this part of the racetrack. Bogus not getting good drive. Covington on a line maybe not used to, but he manages to get himself back in the 3rd position. That will be vital points. Back marker ahead of him, Kronkovic, 1:31. Covington dropping downhill. He is the lead rider in shot. He's now in 3rd place. The guy in white behind him is Brian Bogus. He's in 4th. Jed Beaton closing in for Team HRC. There he is, number 14, the Aussie. Turning out to be a great Grand Prix for Jed Beaton. Just popping into view now. 3rd in race 1 was already a remarkable achievement for him. Getting to speak to him throughout the course of the year, he knew that he had more on offer. And he goes down the inside of Bogus, takes away 4th from the Dutchman, who responds, but not going to find his way back past. So Beaton then up to 4th place. Showing us really what he's capable of. First time on the bike last week, because when he rode it in Lockett and in Lommel, it was a 17 version. But he jumped on it last week. It was the 18 spec factory bike, a little bit wobbly there at the top of the hill for Jeremy Siwa. 7.9 seconds down now on his teammate. Hunter Lawrence continues to lap faster and faster with every passing lap. A 2:07 this time around. Extends his lead to almost 8 seconds over his teammate, Jeremy Siwa. Covington is 3rd, and that will be good enough for the overall Grand Prix victory. By a point over Siwa and Lawrence. Beaton is 4th, Bogus 5, Jonas 6, Prado 7. 8 for Puches, Osland 9, Thomas Kjær Olsen in 10. He's already got 3rd place secured in the MX2 title race. Brad Todd, iFly JK Racing Yamaha this weekend, coming in as a wild card. Just being lapped there by the 96 Hunter Lawrence, who's heading back uphill in the opposite direction. There's Jonas. First look at Jonas this race. He's in 6th position right now, the new world champ. Just wants to get through this one. It'll be 5th overall. Stays where he is. Won't be too worried about that. Slight mistake at the top of the hill. It's been a long season for him. He won't be riding at the Motocross Nations in a couple of weeks' time for Latvia, because when he had his concussion at Lockett last year, it was a long time off the bike, and he's already been going again since sort of September of last year. So he's done 12 months non-stop. Needs a rest. He's going to take a couple of weeks off before he resumes training, and it's another 2 weeks that he would have had to remain bike fit, he was telling me in Assen a week ago. So back up front though, Hunter Lawrence still in the 2-minute times. So too Thomas Covington. He has the fastest lap of the race this time as he goes after Jeremy Seewer. Brad Todd just getting moved out of the way there. Seewer and Covington battle over 2nd place. Hunter Lawrence a 2-minute.9. Covington 2-minute.4. Fastest lap of the race that time around on lap 7. We're now on lap 8. The gap between 1st and 2nd, Lawrence and Seewer, is almost 10 seconds. This is a battle for 2nd place though. Jeremy Seewer and the white Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, Thomas Covington. The American looking to make a move. A mistake there from Seewer at the top of the hill. Covington will dive down the inside here, will he? Oh, he gets a little bit offline at the bottom. Lawrence already at the end of the next straight, heading downhill over the Monster Energy jump as these two continue to duke it out. Covington really putting Seewer under pressure now. Again, Covington goes to the inside. It's a little bit choppy, and look how long those ruts are. He makes the move. Fantastic move there from Covington. I wasn't sure if he was just too far back there, but he got the job done. He gets himself up in the 2nd. Watch this here. He was a long way back, but then Seewer went deep into the corner. Covington had just one thing on his mind, going from 3rd to 2nd. Back marker separates Covington and Seewer as they head uphill. Nathan Rankin to number 83 is that guy. He's outside of the points at the moment in 21st position. But with 11 minutes plus 2 laps to go, Hunter Lawrence, a fastest lap of the race. Again, a 1:58.8. He is on fire, Hunter Lawrence, here as he goes in search of that first race win in his rookie season. That'll be good for the confidence coming into next year, no doubt about it. But Covington, 12.5 seconds down now. Can he get clear track? Can he start to improve his lap time? Can he do anything about Hunter Lawrence? He's there in 2nd, and that is going to maintain his grip on the overall Grand Prix win here at Villars-sous-Écot. Just over 10 minutes to go here. MX2 race 2, the final race of 2017. The MXGP de Montbéliard here at Villars-sous-Écot in eastern France. Hunter Lawrence there for Suzuki World MX2. He has continued to push on at the head of the field. He's got a gap now of almost 13 seconds. He just set the fastest lap a moment ago, 1:58.8 on lap 8. This is lap 9. He's working his way towards that lap. And he's just making it look so easy. Here is a battle for 2nd between Thomas Covington and Jeremy Seewer, Hunter Lawrence's teammate. Covington got himself into 2nd a moment ago and is starting to pull clear from the Swiss rider. And if he stays there, he will stand on the top step of the podium at the final round here in France. Thomas Covington has an overall win already this year at Mexico. That was round 4. He's been on the podium a handful of times almost since then. 3 third-place finishes in Italy, Lombardia. in Portugal and Loket in the Czech Republic, and again in the US at his home round at WW Ranch. He would love to round it out with a win here if he can. It took him a while to get going. He started up front, got past pretty quickly, went down to fourth, got himself back into contention, and all of a sudden, here he is in second now, but his gap is still 13.2 seconds behind Hunter Lawrence, who continues to lap quicker than anybody else out on track in MX2 Race 2. Siwa here for Suzuki World MX2 is in third, riding number 91, second place secure in the championship. Jed Beaton is in fourth place, 6 seconds behind these guys now. And there is Paul Jonas in sixth, about 6 seconds behind Brian Bogers, and that's about 2 seconds quicker than the Dutchman that time around. So maybe a top 5 position is on the cards here for the new world champ, Paul Jonas. Jorge Prado is in 7th, David Butch is 8th, Alvin Osler 9, and Thomas Kjær Olsen in 10. Belander in 11th, there is TKO. So he's in 10th position. Been a great rookie season for him. Got a Grand Prix win in Latvia. He's third overall in the 2017 MX2 Championship for Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. Will he start as one of the favourites next year? Alongside 41, Paul Jonas, the 64 of Covington, the 96 of Hunter Lawrence, potentially. Jonas, of course, will be looking to defend his title. Jeremy Siwa, who's second. Oh, slight mistake there from TKO. Jeremy Siwa, of course, will be moving up to 450 into the MX1 category next year. TKO, though, heading downhill for the 10th time. Hunter Lawrence sets another fastest lap of the race, a 58 dead. 15 seconds clear now of Covington, who was a 59.8, so 1.8 seconds quicker than Covington. Jeremy Siwa, third, a 59.895, exact, identical lap times to Thomas Covington. That gap still remains around about 1.4 seconds. Jonas is closing in on Brian Bogers, we just saw there. But Hunter Lawrence here, just making it look so easy. Came away with a qualifying race win yesterday. That was his first ever win in MX2. But how much confidence did he gain from that win yesterday? You do it once, there's no reason why you can't do it again. This will be good enough for the second step of the podium. One clear of his teammate, Jeremy Siwa. Jed Beaton will miss out, but it will be a career best for him. He's only done 4 MX2 Grand Prix this year, Jed Beaton. This one being his 4th. Siwa looking at going after Covington again. Where is Jed Beaton? He is about 11 seconds behind these guys. So either just settling for what could be a 4th place finish. That would be a great GP for him, a 3rd and a 4th here. Just gets him off the podium, 4th overall. Or maybe the pace from these guys just that little bit too hot for him. Only got 5 minutes plus 2 laps to go, though. A very sticky start straight. Not a lot they can do with that. Over the foxhole shot line. Siwa still there in 3rd, still looking at going after Thomas Covington. There is Jed Beaton. It has been, no matter what happens now, it's been a fantastic ride for him. And as I said before, HRC top brass here to see it as well, because Michele Chervelin, the best he got was a 5th overall. That was at the opening round in Qatar, and after that a 9th in Patagonia, round 3, a 7th overall in Germany, and every round after that from France, Chervelin has been outside of the top 10, apart from when he finished 10th at Switzerland just a few rounds ago. So when you look at what the riders have done who've ridden this bike, Jed Beaton is definitely head and shoulders above everybody else in that squad, and this is just his 4th time in MX2. So he should be deserving of a ride in 2017, whether it's with Honda or anybody else. Jed Beaton, and he can't do any more than he's doing here. He's definitely putting himself in the shop window with a great performance here this weekend. Hunter Lawrence, the other Australian in the race, leads by 14.5 seconds at the end of the last lap, lap 11. He's working his way towards the end of lap 12. He's got 4 minutes plus 2 to go. He's still one of the quickest riders on track. In fact, last time around, he was slower than Thomas Covington for the first time. Covington down in the dip here. Looks like he's steadied that ship. Siwa just bouncing through those waves as he goes back after Thomas Covington. Those two were about 1.7 apart. Looks like it's probably about the same this time around. Lawrence at 2:01.3, starting to fade in the closing stages of MX2 race 2. A major mistake there from Siwa as he got over the Monster Energy finish line jump. So a 2:01.3 for Lawrence, 1:58.1 for Covington. Siwa at 58.4, then just went a little bit offline as he got up onto the plateau there. Jed Beaton only 28 seconds behind the leaders in 4th. Watch this, Siwa, he realised it and got cross-rutted. Landed with the brake on, tried to correct it. Didn't cost him too much time though. Goes back after Thomas Covington, but with 2.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go, MX2 race 2 coming towards a conclusion for the final time in 2017. Lawrence still leads. Thomas Covington, Rockstar Energy Husqvarna Factory Racing, looks like he has finally broken free from the pursuing Suzuki that is Jeremy Siwa. Lands it over the step down on the 2nd tier plateau. Heads down over the Monster Energy tabletop. Takes him back down to the bottom of the valley almost. Setting personal best sectors in 1 and 2. Thomas Covington. Here is Jed Beaton. And has he made a mistake here? Because, let's have a look. Oh, tell you what, balance. Yeah, slight mistake. Wrestling that Honda up and over the hill. Got away with it. Just. Nervous moments for the number 14, Jed Beaton. The big, tall Aussie is having an absolute stunning performance here. That's Jonas just behind him. And if he can finish ahead of the new world champ, that'll be a nice scalp to take. Hopefully we'll see him in 2018 on a ride deserving of his performance here today. There's Conrad Muse, 4:26. He's down in 17th place. And here's his teammate, Thomas Covington, still there in 2nd. He will take the overall Grand Prix victory. His 2nd of the season for Thomas Covington. That's what that'll be if he can stay there where he is. Maybe a 3rd career win for him as well. Still plenty of time on the clock. He's 8.3 seconds down on Hunter Lawrence. He was the fastest lap of the race last time around. 1:57.777, so 3 seconds quicker than Lawrence on that occasion. And there is Lawrence at the end of the straight. So the 2-lap board will go out next time around. Has Covington left it too late? Did he ride too tight in the beginning of the moto? Certainly Hunter Lawrence was prepared to take those chances early on. It's paid off for him as well. Better to go into the final couple of laps with an 8.5 second advantage than to be 8.5 seconds down, like Thomas Covington is. Jeremy Siwa looks like he's conceded and will settle for 3rd, as Covington might just continue to push on here. He has another year in MX2 next year. Will he be one of the favourites? He'll believe that he is. Right, up and over the Monster Energy finish line. That's Anton Gold. He's a back marker for Factory TM. He's in 18th. A 2:07 for Lawrence, a 1:59.7. Another full second pulled back. But with 7.4 seconds, the gap between Lawrence and Covington, has he just left his charge too late? He might now be relying on a mistake from the Australian here, who's exiting turn 3, heading uphill. Barely got a speck of dirt on him, on that MX2 machine, on that Suzuki. Is he starting to think about those 25 points and that race win? He might be thinking that he's even won the Grand Prix here. That'll be down to his pit crew to tell him. But Covington, a win and a second will give him 47 points, 25 and 22. Lawrence, 43 points, 18 and 25, a 4 and a win. Is the gap coming down? Covington, about a half a second quicker in the first sector. About 0.2 quicker in the second. So it is coming down, but not by enough. But impressive performance from Hunter Lawrence. Back on the source. Jonas alongside Jed Beaton. A slight bobble on the top of the jump there. Beaton has to let Jonas through. How much has he got left in the tank? Number 14, Jed Beaton. He gets pushed from 4th to 5th there. As the new world champ comes through in the closing stages of MX2 Race 2. Just over a lap to go. Either way, as we said before, this is still going to be good enough for 4th overall. A fantastic performance from Jed Beaton. Just needs to bring it home. The final lap of the year. Looks to dive down the inside of the Red Bull KTM of Paul Jonas. You know what, he might just give this one last push, Jed Beaton. Everyone else just kind of backing it off. Jonas was the fastest man of the lap of the race then, at 57.4. Hunter Lawrence here, though, still has a 7-second advantage. That's a horrible little hook in that first little tabletop there as they go along that plateau. I would be surprised if Jed Beaton just goes, you know what, I've nothing to lose. Let's go after Jonas here. Let's have him just pass him back. See what kind of speed he's got. See what he's got under the bonnet on that Red Bull KTM compared to this factory HRC Honda of mine that I'm just going to be parking up for the winter. Short on the step up there for Jonas. That might be one area that he was able to capitalise. Yeah, I don't think Beaton was getting over that step up. Whoa, back end just getting out of line there from Hunter Lawrence as he came in to land on that plateau. Outgunning his teammate this time around, Hunter Lawrence. It's been cut. Well, I'll tell you what, Jeremy Seawell landed awkwardly at the top of the hill then, and he's gone down. He goes down. That, he landed and lost the front end, and Jonas is going to come through any moment now, and he's just, oh, this might put Jed Beaton on the podium if he can't get him fired up. And how expensive will those 2 points be? Over the line, Hunter Lawrence takes victory in MX2 Race 2. He takes his first ever race win for Suzuki World MX2. What a fantastic performance from the young Australian. He takes a long look over his shoulder. 6 seconds further back, Thomas Covington. Covington will win the overall with a win and a second. Jeremy Seawell, we're waiting for him to come through. Here he is now charging towards us. Both Jonas and Jed Beaton have gone through. So Jonas comes through in 3rd. Still pushed by Jed Beaton. Great final lap from the Australian. Jonas goes 3rd, Beaton 4th, Seawell 5th. And Jeremy Seawell will be on, no, Jed Beaton on the podium here at the final round. Seawell is annoyed with himself. So Covington takes the overall, Hunter Lawrence 2nd, Jed Beaton 3rd, tied with Jeremy Seawell. A fantastic performance from the Australian. Here's our overall Grand Prix winner, Thomas Covington.
No.
Apologies there. Yeah, Covington is the overall winner. Hunter Lawrence, the race winner. Here is Thomas Covington. Just waiting for Thomas Covington to get back here. Putting the hat and the goggles on, getting all ready. Slight foobar there, but here we go with our winner, Thomas Covington.
Thomas Covington, a fantastic end to your season with your second GP overall. Tell us about it.
It's unbelievable. It's such a blessing. Just, man, just really got to thank my whole team. Husqvarna, Rockstar Energy, WP. Bike's working awesome this year, and yeah, 100% shot. Everybody, thanks for getting this for us.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thomas Covington, Rockstar Energy, Husqvarna, Factory Racing, a good, solid performance at the final round of the FIA Motocross World Championship here in MX2 at Villars-sous-Écot at Pays de Montbéliard. A win in Moto number 1, a second in race 2. Took him a while to get going, but he managed to do it. Pulls it off for the second time this year. 2 Grand Prix victories now this season, 3 in total for Thomas Covington. And it's not in Mexico. That's where his 2 other previous Grand Prix victories have come from. So Thomas Covington then, all smiles this weekend. But Hunter Lawrence, the overall winner in Moto number 1 for Suzuki World MX2. Thomas Covington, Rockstar Energy Husqvarna was second. Jonas third for Red Bull KTM. Jed Beaton fourth for HRC MX2. Jeremy Seaworth fifth after that mistake. Bogus for HSF Logistics was 6th. Prado 7, Puches 8, 9 for Rabini and Monster Energy Kawasaki, and 10 for Calvin Verlander and the Monster Energy DRT Kawasaki of Sinai was 11. TKO was 12. Oslin 13 for Khmer Yamaha. Jacoby 14 for STC Husqvarna, and then Ben Watson 15 for Hitachi Contract Furniture Group KTM. Then it was Muse, Monticelli, Gold, Klingsheim and Dewar. 1 or 2 riders still coming in, but the overall belongs to Thomas Covington. Hunter Lawrence second, Beaton third, 2 Aussies on the podium and an American, not a European to be seen. Seaworth just missing out on 4th. Same points as Jed Beaton, who takes his maiden MX2 podium. Just 4 attempts to get there as well. Guest riding as well, not even a full-time factory rider. Well, tell you what, stand up and be counted, Jed Beaton, because that was one heck of a performance this weekend. Same conditions for everybody. Jonas confirmed as champion, of course, in Moto number 1. C was second, Olsen third. Covington does get to 4th at the expense of the injured Paturel, but it was a solid performance from Covington anyway. He still had to score 19 points more than Paturel. He did that in Moto number 1. Lawrence rounds out the season in 9th, Van Donnick 10th, didn't start race 2. Sinai finishes 11th in the end, ahead of Chervenin. And Jacoby up to 20th place. Jed Beaton up 7 positions, look. I wonder what will come of that performance in terms of rides for next year and possibilities. KTM nail the Manufacturers' Championship. Suzuki and Husqvarna, your top 3 there. Foxhole shot. Thomas Covington. For the 8th time this year, he finishes that little contest in 3rd. But Jorge Prado picking up 5 grand from Sebastian Tortelli, the Fox ambassador this weekend. Of course, a 2-time world champion. Prado finishing on 14. The impressive thing there is Prado hasn't taken a foxhole shot since Sweden 6 motos ago. The Santero 958 is in position, ready to go for the final round here. Jed Beaton, what a performance from the Australian. Number 14, riding for HRC MX2. And a great result for the 2018 Honda CRF 250 as well. We'll grab a quick word with Scott Redding in a minute by the look of things, but Hunter Lawrence, second overall for Suzuki World MX2, and did that with a race win as well. But Thomas Covington, for the second time this year, third time in his career, stands on the top step of the podium, and it's for Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, just like it was earlier in the year as well for him at Mexico in Leon. And as I said before, a non-European MX2 podium. Not sure when that happened, actually. Maybe the first time. Jackie Martins, former world champ from the 500cc days. Team owner of the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna factory racing squad for MX2. Good to see him up there. Looking fit and well, as always. He's only about 17 foot tall. But Frédéric Barbier handing the third place trophy and the first piece of silverware to Jed Beaton, third overall here this weekend. Hunter Lawrence takes his second place trophy from Dr. Wolfgang Schrub, the FIM Europe president. And a third career winners trophy to Thomas Covington, Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, from Mr. Jacques Paul, the FFM president. The quiet and assuming, very shy Thomas Covington will take this all in his stride. The manufacturer's trophy to Jackie Martins for Husqvarna, Jean-Luc Gouillon, Doubs Regional Council, on hand to deliver that to the former world champion and now team owner, of course. What a fantastic Grand Prix we've had here to round out 2017. Of course, Paul Jonas was crowned world champion after Moto #1. He's up on the podium. He will receive his gold plates from Mr. Tony Skillington, the FIM CMS director. We'll see the medal ceremony in a moment as well. Congratulations, everybody, this weekend. Thomas Covington, Hunter Lawrence, and Jed Beaton, your top three. Paul Jonas, world champion 2017. Short and sweet for Thomas Covington, but he is victorious here at the final round. Round 19 of the FIM MX2 Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of Pays de Montbéliard. Paul Jonas will be back in a moment to collect his gold medal, but Thomas Covington, Hunter Lawrence, and Jed Beaton celebrate on the podium. First, second, third this weekend. Paul Jonas, though, is the 2017 MX2 World Champion. Victorious in Qatar, Patagonia, Valkenswaard, Ernée in France, in Russia, and Loket in the Czech Republic. It's been a dominant season for him, despite that one DNF in Indonesia in race 2, where he got stuck. It's been pretty much wins, seconds or thirds, almost every race since then. Congratulations, of course, to Paul Jonas and Red Bull KTM. The final medal ceremony then for the MX2 riders in 2017. Third overall, Thomas Kjær Olsen. He was, of course, the European 250 champion last year. A great rookie season for the Dane. Jeremy Seewer, second overall for Suzuki World MX2. Just fell short, but it was Paul Jonas, the overall winner. World champion after Moto #1 for Red Bull KTM. They do the double, of course, with Kai Rowley winning in MXGP a week ago. Tony Skillington, the FIM CMS director, will hand out all the medals to the top three, starting with Thomas Kjær Olsen, third overall, Rockstar Energy Husqvarna Factory Racing. Jeremy Seewer, second overall, Suzuki World MX2. He moves up to MXGP next year on the brand new 450 Suzuki. Pauls Jonas will stay and hope to defend that title in MX2 for Red Bull KTM. That's the top three. Pauls Jonas, Jeremy Seewer and Thomas Kjær-Olsen. Take a look at some of the best moments. We'll talk to some riders after this.
Gold medal. On rappelle bien évidemment que nous allons nous retrouver avec la catégorie.
Pauls Jonas, a massive congratulations. Okay, it was a difficult last round, but it really doesn't matter. You got your first MX2 championship title. Has it sunk in yet?
Yeah, you know, I made it tough today for myself. First race, crash in the start. Second race, got a wheel spin on the gate. But no, actually, this was one of the races after a long time, which I enjoy quite a lot. So it's been a really long season. You know, I'm happy, you know, to have some time off now to go home to see the family and all the fans. You know, and I want to say really huge thanks to all the Red Bull KTM Factory Racing team. You know, especially greetings to you, Boss Pit Buyer. You know, it's thanks for believing in me and my family, everyone, you know, who has been behind me. You know, it's been a long way, but you know, we get there, and now you know, take a little rest and then get ready for the next season, and we'll see. You know, hopefully you can do the same and also the next season.
Huge congratulations. Thank you. Second overall in the championship, we have Jeremy Seewer. Jeremy, you took the fight to the bitter end. On the way, you got 5 GP ovals, you got 10 podiums. It hasn't been all bad.
Yeah, you know, it's not bad to be vice world champion, but it's not what we wanted, and it's frustrating, you know, to see someone else with a gold medal. But yeah, you know, I was fighting for, but yeah, I accepted it already. You know, this weekend wasn't a problem anyhow. In that second moto, I crashed last lap and missed the podium, but I just went all in. You know, wanted to fight Thomas for the GP win also and stuff. So didn't work out, but that's racing, you know, and I'm looking forward already, like I said, to the 450s. It's going to be a complete new challenge, and I think it's going to be, yeah, like exciting, and I'm quite shooting on a 450, so that's awesome. Big thanks to the whole team, you know, like they've been working so hard to catch up with those orange spikes. You know, it's not that easy, but we did all we could, and of course frustrating, but I'm going forward with a smile, you know.
Congratulations, thank you, Jeremy. Third overall in the championship, we have Thomas Kjær-Olsen. Thomas Kjær-Olsen, your rookie season, you've shown consistency the whole way, and you got your first GP overall on the way to get your third championship.
Yeah, it's been a long season, and it's gone really good. Like I said before, it's a lot of up and downs in one season. It's so many races, but I'm so happy to come out with third, even though it's been a tough weekend here, and yeah, I just got to look at the big picture, and I'm happy with third.
Congratulations, thank you.